Good morning, Pre-K. It's Monday, so it's time for our sight word. Last week, we had off. So this week, we have O-N, on. I have my jammies on. Since you've been staying at home, you might actually be watching this in your jammies. I like to climb on the playset. When we come back to school, you'll get to play on the playset again. It's been very quiet. I will put my, can you make something up? On. I will put my shoes on. I will put my hat on. I will put my smile on. So, look around for the word on. It's a very tiny word, just an O and an N. And listen up to see if you hear people use that word during the day. Look in your books. See if you can find on. Now, on to our story. We are getting, I think we're past the middle, getting closer to the end. Look at that, of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. We stopped in chapter, I believe it was 8. Yes, it was the Queen's Croquet Ground, and we stopped because it was a long chapter. So we're going to start reading again. When we stopped, Alice was playing this very strange game of croquet. The balls were hedgehogs, and the croquet mallet, that's the little thing that you hit the ball with, were flamingos, those pink birds with the really long necks. It was just crazy. So, let's find out what happened. Alice tried to hold her flamingo still, but it kept twisting around so it could look at Alice. She couldn't help laughing, and when she finally got the flamingo to hold still, she looked down and found that the hedgehog had run away. It was a hard and confusing game. The players played all at the same time. No one took turns. They argued about everything, and the Queen went stomping off, screaming, "Off with his head! Off with her head!" every minute. Alice began to feel very uneasy. She had not yet had an argument with the Queen, but she knew it might happen at any minute. She started looking around for a way to leave when she noticed a curious appearance in the air. A grin. What do you think it is? "It's the Cheshire Cat," she said to herself. "Now I will have somebody to talk to." If you'll remember, in the other chapter when she met him, he would appear and then he would disappear. But he didn't appear and disappear all at once. When he would disappear, it would start with his tail, and the last thing to disappear would be his grin. "It's the Cheshire Cat. Now I'll have somebody to talk to." "How are you doing?" said the cat, as soon as there was enough mouth for it to speak. Alice waited till the eyes appeared and then nodded. "There's no use speaking to it till its ears have come," she thought. Why's that? Can't hear her, huh? In another minute, the whole head appeared. And then Alice put down her flamingo and she began to tell the cat about the game. The cat seemed to think that his head was enough, and no more of it appeared. "I don't think they play fairly," Alice said. "And they all argue and don't have any rules. You have no idea how confusing it is using flamingos and hedgehogs and the arches that walk away." "How do you like the Queen?" asked the cat. "Not at all," said Alice. "She's so..." Just then she noticed that the Queen was close behind her listening, and she went on, "Likely to win that it's not worth finishing the game." The Queen smiled and walked by. Here's Alice. She's put her flamingo down and she's just talking to the cat's head. And I want you to know that I believe there's a Disney movie of Alice in Wonderland. And there are also several other ones that have been made through the years. So if you'd like to see, and they usually stick pretty close to the story. So you might try watching Alice in Wonderland when I'm through with the book. So here, I love this. This is a great big picture. Here's the crazy queen holding her flamingo. Here's Alice talking. There's the cat's head. Here we can see, remember the cards all look like people, and then they bent over. You were using them to hit the balls through. It's just crazy. And I guess this is the castle back here. Alice is just having the strangest time. I don't know what she ate before she went to bed, but it's a pretty weird dream, huh? "Whom are you talking to?" said the king, walking up to Alice and looking at the cat's head with curiosity. "It's a friend of mine, a Cheshire cat," said Alice. "I don't like the looks of it," said the king, "but it may kiss my hand if it likes." "I'd rather not," the cat remarked. "Don't be disrespectful," said the king, "and don't look at me like that." He got behind Alice as he spoke. "A cat can look at a king," said Alice. "I read that in a book somewhere." "Well, it must be removed," said the king, and he called the queen. "My dear, I wish you would have this cat removed." The queen had one way of settling problems, great and small. "Off with his head," she said, without even looking up. "I'll get the executioner myself," said the king, and he hurried off. He quickly returned with the executioner, and a crowd began to gather. A disagreement began between the king and the executioner and the queen. They were all talking at once, and while the entire crowd was silent and uncomfortable, Alice asked if she could help settle the question. They all started speaking to her at once, so she found it very hard to know exactly what they said. The executioner's argument was about you couldn't cut off a head unless there was a body to cut the head off of. The king's argument was that anything that had a head could be beheaded. The queen's argument was that if something weren't done soon, then she'd have everybody off with their head. The argument got very loud. Alice could not think of anything else to say, but "The cat belongs to the Duchess. You'd better ask her about it." "She's in prison," the queen said to the executioner. "Bring her here." And the executioner went off like an arrow. The cat's head began fading away the moment the executioner was gone, and by the time he'd come back with the Duchess, the cat had disappeared completely. So the king and the executioner ran wildly up and down looking for the Cheshire Cat's head, while the rest of the party went back to the game. And that is the end of chapter 8. And we will stop there today. I think it would be very fun to be able to appear and disappear the way the Cheshire Cat does. Sometimes maybe people would only see his tail if he'd let them. Other times they see his head or his grin. Maybe they would just see his paw. Wouldn't that be kind of fun? You could really trick people that way, couldn't you? Okay, tomorrow's chapter 9. It's called The Mock Turtle Story. So I think we're probably going to meet a turtle. I don't know. We will wait and see what happens. Ooh, that's a long chapter too. Okay. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.